Welcome to Bird Dog Politics. I'm BDP. A working man used to be able to get by in this country, but there's been a $50 trillion transfer of wealth from the working man to the billionaire class. And it's been my top priority here at Bird Dog Politics. How'd it get the name? I don't get distracted by wedge issues. I don't get distracted by clickbait. I have been working for almost 20 years as a teacher with a master's degree, never been in prison, never caught cancer. I should be living the all-American existence. And I'm here to tell you, it's not what they sold me. There's a 2008 Toyota Corolla sitting there in the parking lot, and I haven't fixed the last two fender benders, and the windshield is spidering. And a bunch of my buddies drive similar vehicles and are in even worse financial position than I am. So how'd this transfer happen? What's going on? How'd we get here? And where are we? Special essay by Bird Dog Politics. I was born in 82, which is right around when this started. What'd they say, in the past 50 years? I'm just a little behind. I'm one of the oldest people in America to have lived entirely under this system. And I can tell. I just bought this big, beautiful house. There's a wood shop in the basement. 2 bench grips, bench grinder, some tools left over, all kinds of nuts, bolts, screws, eye hooks. Old man who lived here had enough money in the paycheck to pay for this house and put a wood shop in the basement. Did he work harder than me? Was he smarter than me? Did he have more college degrees than me? Or was there something in the system that made it easier for hardworking men back then, more difficult for hardworking men now? There are. See, before I was born, the top marginal tax rate was 70, 80, 90%. So corporate was completely disincentivized from hoarding cash. Because if you hoard it and hoard it and hoard it, you're just paying the tax man. And yeah, there were loopholes. Of course there were. But starting at 70% and trying to whittle that down versus starting at 28% and whittling that down to 0, it was punitive. And I'm okay with that. Do not stash, do not hoard billions upon billions of dollars when Americans are suffering. Absolutely, the government should have that stance. It's my stance. The second thing was that stock buybacks were illegal. I saw a meme once about, there was an entire movie about losing out on a Christmas bonus. Well, that must have been right around the time that stock buybacks were made legal. They had been prohibited. So corporate, when they said, we had our most profitable year ever, what should we do? Pay taxes or Christmas bonuses for the guys? And they'd choose Christmas bonuses for the guys. Then Reagan slashed the top marginal tax rate, so paying taxes was no longer a worry. And stock buybacks were made legal. So at the end of the year, you have a profitable year, you say, should we pay our guys? Should we pay our taxes? Or should we do a stock buyback? And they chose stock buyback, and the price went up because it was a hot buy. Jim Cramer was saying, everybody's buying Walmart stock. It's such a hot buy. No, Walmart is buying Walmart stock, and it's an artificial inflation of the price. It should absolutely be illegal. So slowly but surely, these two policies set in and made it tougher and tougher and tougher. And you told a whole generation of millennials, if you want to solidly, squarely enter the middle class, get yourself a college degree. And education is the key, and it opens many doors. And now these boomers are saying, we never said that. BS. Absolute bullshit. Pardon my language. You told us to get educated, and we did it. And then you said, that's not what we meant. You weren't supposed to get an underwater basket weaving degree in the philosophy of the fine arts. I didn't. I'm a teacher. I got a teaching degree for my bachelor's. I got an administrator's degree for my master's. Squarely in the middle class? Solidly in the middle class? Not at all. I have 2 maxed out credit cards. And the only bills on them, the only thing that I put on my credit cards are Walmart trips and gas station. You'd think I'd be in the front row of Lambeau Field in my Kirby Joseph jersey, waiting for Amon Ra to come to a Lambeau leap into my arms, smack that disgusting racist lady who poured a beer on him. I wouldn't smack a disgusting racist lady. I'd just let her be disgusting and racist. I missed Summer Aloud, which I think is okay. I'm still heartbroken over Brian, and I prevail. But I haven't been spending money on really cool stuff. I haven't been to Vegas since my kid was born. I miss that place, but it's expensive. Used to take my son to the trampoline park when he was young, back when I had spending money. There really was a time when we had spending money. In Trump's first term, I'd finally paid the credit cards off. I was maxing out my contributions to my Roth IRA. And things were looking good. Then the pandemic hit, and the supply chains were interrupted. So people went crazy trying to hoard toilet paper. And then we got the COVID vaccine pushed through, cut through the red tape. Nice job by Trump on that. I can give him credit once in a while. He did like 3 good things. Second good thing he did was the Trump stimulus check. Trump's the only president that's ever given us a stimulus check. I'm afraid once AI is doing a lot of work, we'll need regular stimulus checks. Trump would be the one, wouldn't he? And then he created the PPP loan program, which was great. My buddy with the barbecue restaurant was able to apply for a loan if he wanted to, so that he could keep his best cooks, his best waiters and waitresses, his best staff. Nobody's coming into the restaurant, but I want you guys to be able to pay your bills, pay the rent, pay the electricity. I applied for a PPP loan. Psych, my buddy didn't. Marjorie Taylor Greene got one for herself. Chris Ruth's steak, whatever, that corporate steakhouse, they got one. Thank you, investigative journalist who shined the light on that BS. The Los Angeles Lakers took out a PPP loan. Who are they needing to pay? Because I don't think it was the beer ban. And they better not have got a loan for their player's salary. That's absurd. $10 billion to sell the Lakers, and you're pleading poverty for a PPP loan? Unacceptable. But then the supply chains were restored, so naturally prices should have come to record-setting profit, quarter after quarter after quarter. Corporations legally have to report their earnings. There's an earnings call once a quarter. They have to be honest because they want the stock price to go up and up and up. So they come in and they say, woo! World record profitable quarter. Followed by another record profitable quarter, followed by another. And they don't have to pay taxes. They can keep doing stock buybacks. There's no incentive to pay their employees. Their employees can just go on food stamps if they happen to fall below the poverty line because they only get 32 hours of work. Do you know that if you're an employer and you hire people for 32 hours a week instead of 40 hours a week, you don't have to give them pennies? My school did that with our aid system. And the principal said, well, we need special education aides to be with our most vulnerable population from the time they get off the bus to the time they get on the bus. And so for students with extreme autism, for students who are nonverbal, for students with a variety of needs, they need a one-on-one aide all day, every day. And so many years ago, we were saying, this student has a wonderful aide. Can't you just hire her full time? They said, no, 8 till 2. We got to keep it down to 29 hours so that we don't want it to look like we're trying to cut her from full time. And the entire staff of elementary teachers yelled, we know what you're doing. Hire us, pay us full time, give us our benefits, or expand the social safety net. I don't care. If you really feel the need that you may not pay your people, that's not what's in your Christian heart, your American patriot soul. You don't care about paying Americans. because it's better for your stock price, then let's tax you and expand the social safety net. Obvious. One way or another, people need to eat food, or people will get royally upset and storm the Capitol and want to hang Mike Pence. But what if they find out that Mike Pence isn't the problem? What if they find out that illegal immigrants aren't the problem? You think the cleaning lady at the hotel has all your money? What did I just say? 2008 Toyota Corolla in the parking lot? You want me to believe that the housemaid at the Marriott has all my money? She came here, she doesn't speak English, she got some little kids, she was fleeing a civil war, some gang violence. You want me to believe she's getting rich off of me by being a cleaning lady? Her husband, the berry picker on the berry farm, has all my money. You want me to believe that? I don't believe that. My theory is that the owner of the hotel has way too much of my money. The owner of the berry field. Farmers, big ag, I think there might be some money, but in general, the American farmer isn't getting ahead. We're subsidizing crops that we don't need to eat, or we're burning up energy biscuits that could feed children. Remember when Republicans used to argue that this is a Christian country? Conservatives are so far from Christ now. It's disgusting. You don't take a picture in front of Alligator Auschwitz. I will not call it the other name. If you want to rename the Gulf of Mexico, I'm renaming Alligator Auschwitz. It is a concentration camp. 32 men to a cage who have not been charged with any crime whatsoever. They just happen to have brown skin. This is unacceptable. This is un-American. This is fascism. And I am willing to call it out. At risk to myself. My superintendent said, hey, if political advocacy is your thing, nights and weekends are yours, man. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the opportunity. Because I do not want to see this country slide into fascism. I know people are broke and angry about it, and they need to know where the money is. It's not with the illegal immigrants. It's with the owners, as George Carlin would say. There's a lot of talk about a deep state, and that talk used to involve caves and baby blood and celebrities and stuff. The deep state is the NFL declaring itself a non-profit organization. The NFL is a charity. The Los Angeles Lakers are applying for a PPP loan. The rich pay off the powerful until the powerful are rich and the rich are powerful. That's your deep state. It's not that exciting. You already know most of the names. That's how you get a law called the Clean Air Act that makes the air dirtier. See, American democracy could be the greatest form of government, but it's been manipulated by the owners. Republican policies are cut taxes for the rich, regulate women, regulate the gay population, regulate minorities, protect business, allow pollution. Michael Moore was right. Michael Moore's been right for 30 years. Letting the guys down the street get married, yes or no? Telling corporate to stop polluting the river, yes or no? Paying people what they're worth, yes or no? Going to the hospital and not worrying that it will throw you into poverty, bankruptcy, yes or no? Libs come out on top on a lot of things, which is why gerrymandering has become so common. North Carolina has been a case study in this sort of stuff. They gerrymander horribly. They commissioned a study to find out what Black Democrat voters, what their voting tendencies were. They found, a lot of them go to church on Sunday morning and their pastor talks about social justice and he says, and today is the day, go to your election site and vote. North Carolina Republicans banned Sunday voting. The party of democracy, the party of patriotism, wants less voting in America. Or they want gerrymandered districts. They want restrictions. Got to look like me in order to vote. A student ID doesn't prove who you are, even if it has your picture and your name and your address. Can't use that for voting. Concealed carry permit? Sure, go for it. If your ideas do not garner the most votes, then it is your job, your responsibility to come up with new proposals that people want to vote for. It's not your job to make it more difficult to vote, to get your people to the polling place, and to make it difficult, to intimidate, to have the Proud Boys stand outside the voting places so that people aren't comfortable there. No, you come up with policies that most people want to vote for. That's how democracy is supposed to work. And the people who are trying to hide that, trying to make that more difficult, trying to limit, are un-American, undemocratic. I live in the UP of Michigan. We send one guy from the UP to Washington, D.C. to work with the legislative branch, to work with President Trump, to represent us. His name is Jack Bergman. He works 126 congressional calendar days, and he has 239 days off for the salary of $174,000 a year and bennies. He's in charge. Congress is in charge of its own work-life balance. Congress is in charge of its own salary, its own working conditions. And Congress chose 126 days of work per year and 239 days off and a salary of $174,000 a year. And then they say they don't make enough money. I hear you guys. Take the one off the front of that and then slash some more. We'll get you to average American salary. Not that they need it. Most congressmen, most politicians are loaded anyway. Donald Trump's cabinet has the most billionaires of all time. How's that for draining the swamp? That cabinet is loaded. It's also a bunch of TV characters. How in the hell do you pick a TV character, an alcoholic TV character, to be sec def? I don't get it. Then you choose a grocery bag boy to lead terrorism prevention. So what happened was Donald Trump came down that golden escalator and he said, "You guys are falling behind." And we said, "Yeah, we know." He said, "You guys should make more money like they did in the good old days." And we said, "Yeah, we know." And then he said, "It's because of illegal immigrants." And people said, "Whatever, man. Let's punish them then. I need more money. Somebody's got to pay." Not the rich, not corporate, not the boardroom, but somebody. Jews will not replace us? Really? The rich have the money. We can tax it out of them. We can arrest them for something illegal. Or we can say they're above the law and the rules don't apply to them, the laws don't apply to them. If they want to fly to an island and have their way, that's fine. They're rich. Matt Gaetz did something similar, not on an island, at a tax collector's house or something. High school junior. That's what the study by Congress had determined. No charges. When you're a star, they let you do it. You can get away with it. So that's where we're at. People are angry. People are upset. People are falling behind. They've seen evidence that America used to be a place where a man could work hard and get ahead. It's no longer the case because a $50 trillion transfer of wealth has occurred. We need to get it back. The revolution will be peaceful if the other side will allow it to be. Isn't that what that Project 2025 asshole said? And now we're starting to see that it was all a con anyway. Yeah. We had to come together as working men, not as white guys, not as racists. We got to come together as working men and realize that this transfer of wealth can be fixed. They said it would trickle down. We will send 50 trillion up, and some of that 50 trillion will trickle down. Can you feel it trickling on you? Do you feel it? Feels like it to me. I just want to retire with dignity. I want to take my kid to the trampoline park. That's not too much to ask. And in response, this president has been given unlimited authority by the Supreme Court. Any presidential act that he commits is hereby legal. The president cannot be stopped by worrying about the laws when he needs to enact his agenda. So everything he decides is legal. Republicans just voted to gut Medicaid in 2 years. They don't want you to know this until after the midterms. And then in 2028, Donald Trump claims voting will be fixed and you won't have to vote again. That sounds like some North Korea shit. We won't have to vote, it'll be fixed. One party rule. Slash Medicaid, slash food stamps, slash all public services, and give a big fat tax cut to the rich. Is it trickling yet? They already have 50 trillion of our dollars. Let's give them some more. That'll make America great again. And then we took Immigration, Customs and Enforcement, ICE. We said we're going to multiply that budget by 16 times. ICE now has a bigger budget than the Marines. Uh-oh. This secret police force, masked, unidentified, go and kidnap brown people, no charges, and bring them to a concentration camp and sit them 32 to a cage with no charges. And these disgusting human beings go stand in front of the road sign that says Alligator Alcatraz and smile and pose. You don't smile at a concentration camp. Your heart breaks and you get infuriated that someone would decide that human beings being treated this way is acceptable. It isn't. You don't even have to be a Christian to understand that. You can just be a good person and know that you don't kidnap brown people and throw them in a cage, 32 at a time with no charges, no release date, simply for being here, and you don't feel like sharing. Thank God they didn't do that to Great Grandpa. I mean, they were racist assholes to Great Grandpa, but they didn't throw him in a concentration camp. So now I'm able to be here. What are we doing? How are we going to fix it? And if we don't fix it now, when will we fix it? Because in 2028, what did we say? 2020, is Donald Trump even going to leave the White House? No, he's going to try to stay. Josh Hawley, fist in the air in the land of hypocrisy. Well, that was the morning. Then afternoon, Josh Hawley is chicken legs. Tick, tick, tick. But now Josh Hawley is cool on unions. He understands that working men need to get ahead. And ladies, sorry ladies. Sometimes I get a very me-centric essay going. Hardworking men, hardworking women used to be able to get ahead in this country, but there's been a $50 trillion transfer of wealth to the billionaire class. If it feels wrong, if it feels broken, if it feels rigged, it is. But that needs to be your voting priority. It can't be about swimming gold medals. It can't be about wedding cakes. It can't be about where you go pee. You can use either bathroom in my house. I don't care. I mean, I call one the boys' room because it's brown and it's tiny. I call one the ladies' room because it's nice and I let my wife use it. My mom raised a gentleman. I don't drop bombs in my wife's bathroom. You're welcome, honey. What are we doing? We need to make more money. We need to hold our politicians accountable and ask, where is the money and how do we get it back into the working man's hand? Because we should not be going bankrupt. I just had the brake light come on my 2008 Toyota Corolla. Is this the emergency that convinces me to cash in my Roth IRA? Pay off the 2 maxed out credit cards. Try to start over. Or do I wait for it to get worse and wait for someone more desperate than me to make a change in this country? But Luigi didn't. And the Butler, Pennsylvania assassin didn't. And the guy that shot up the Republican baseball practice didn't. None of the shooters have. Some dipshit down the road threw a Molotov cocktail at the Republican county headquarters. Stupid. I don't want violence here in the Northwoods. We have it peaceful. We have very few black and brown people. We don't have ICE kidnapping others. Everyone up here looks like me for the most part. But someone threw a Molotov cocktail at Republican headquarters? People are terrified of child trafficking. The last child trafficking situation I heard of, the girl called the guy and said, "Come get me." I can prevent my children from behaving like that. I can keep my kids safe from child traffickers if the situation is they are calling people to say, "Come grab me." Maybe if that girl had called ICE, she would have been kidnapped more appropriately. But this is it. Donald Trump is suing the free press. We are saying goodbye to freedom of the press. He wants to arrest protesters. We may not have freedom of assembly much longer. He sues people who speak ill of him. We may not have freedom of speech much longer. And there is a concentration camp in Florida that some Americans are proud of instead of disgusted by. We need an opposition leader. We need one to help get us back on stable grounds, because this is not what we voted for. And shame on people who say, "I didn't know." You have the right to vote. You have the responsibility to know who you are voting for, how bad it could get, what's the worst that could happen. You should know that if they write a 1,000-page book that says we're going to arrest OnlyFans content creators, that says we are going to fire career public servants and install MAGA dipshits. We're going to get rid of weather forecasting, or you can subscribe to it, $30 a month to get the weather forecast. Weather forecasting should be profitable. It shouldn't be a public service. Whatever happened to this belief in public service? I have no desire to be a salesman. None. My father-in-law is a traveling salesman. I would not want to do his job. It doesn't strike me as enjoyable. It doesn't strike me as something that fits my talents. I'm a public servant. I'm a storyteller. And I'm really bad at flying. I get airsick so bad. But what happened to our reverence for public servants? It used to be when a courthouse job came open, a health department job came open, everybody in town applied for it. Yeah, the pay was pretty terrible, but the schedule was set. You had all your holidays off, and you got benefits. Now all of a sudden, some asshole named Russell Vought is saying, we want to make public servants' lives miserable. What's wrong with you, Russell Vought? Shame on you. I didn't go into teaching to be made miserable by people like you. And now he's got a job in the government. He's in charge of stuff. Office of Management and Budget. Let's go make Russell Vaught's life miserable. He's an asshole, I think. I'm a public servant. My sister's a public servant. My brother-in-law's a cop. You hate us? You think we're doing it for the wrong reasons? You want to defund the United States government to give tax cuts to the rich and then only pay for secret police to tamp down dissent? First they came for the brown people, then they came for the content creators, then they came for the libs of YouTube. Uh-oh. This is Bird Dog Politics. We're going to make a change together. Like, subscribe, share, join the movement. Peace.